And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
It appears nowadays that a more popular theme is brewing, making beers and things. Here's another game in that line, or in that theme anyway, called Dice Brewing. This is a game about using dice to get different resources, where you're going to roll dice, manipulate those numbers. I tend to like games where you use dice to get things, and that sounds interesting. Let's hope so. Here it is. In this game, players are going to be trying to get the most points by completing different recipes. So for example, this recipe here needs a green die that's 2 or higher, hops, a yellow die that's 4 or higher, that's light malt, and a black die that's 2 or higher, that's dark malt. So if you have those, you're going to get you can get this card, which will give you money. Sometimes they give you points. If I also had a blue die that was 2 or higher, I would get an extra 2 money. And as the game goes by, there's going to be several of these, and many of them are going to be giving you points. Like this one here, I need 5 dice to do it, but I will get 7 points, and I'll also get more points if I turn in that token. This token gives me money. So if you have different items, you'll be able to get these. Now the way you're going to get these items are, players are going to have dice, and on their turn they're going to roll the dice that they have. And you'll start with some dice, and you'll get more dice as time goes by. You can place some of these dice in storage where they will stay forever until you use them, and then they will then you get them back, possibly, unless you change them into something else. If you keep them in front of you, you can also use them, but at the beginning of each turn you're forced to re-roll these dice. So the game has different sections. Each player has their own board, has different sections that are going to be unlocked as the game goes by. So at the beginning, for example, I can change any yellow die, any light malt, into a dark malt. If I use a die that is 3 or higher, I can do it immediately. Get rid of the light malt, take the dark malt. However, then I have to use an extra die to do that. Otherwise, I wait to the end of the turn. Then I turn the yellow die into a dark malt. I can turn a seed token, and you'll get a seed token every other round. So that's kind of a way that you're getting more stuff. I can turn seed tokens into yellow dice. So I take a seed token, turn it into a yellow die, and I can do it immediately. And I can also increase a yellow or a light malt or a dark malt by 1. So I can increase them, and they can go up by 1 so that I can meet the needs of the recipe. Later on, I can change seeds into hops, or I can increase the number of hops. I can use these blue dice to take different tokens that I might need. I can also change green into seed tokens, or malt into 2 seed tokens, or just get some money. After all the players have gone, there's going to be tokens placed on these cards, and there's only a limited number of tokens in the game that players can buy these from the black market and other places. These tokens are used in some recipes to give you extra points and money. Other tokens, especially these here, give you different actions where you can manipulate dice and use different things for dice. Then in turn order, and turn order is really important for this game, each player can use dice to basically turn these dice into these recipes and get the recipes which will give you points and or money. When a certain number of recipes has gone through, players will get extra points for their yellow, black, and green dice that they have left over, as well as any money that they have left over, and whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. Now, I said at the beginning that I like games where you are manipulating dice to do something, where you are using dice to get resources, and yet I don't like dice brewing. But I guess I should explain why. First of all, you can manipulate dice in this game, but it is a bit of a slow slog to do so. Oh, I rolled a 1 yellow. Okay, well next turn I can re-roll it, in which case I might get another 1, or I can increase it to a 2, and I can do this. And so in this game, for sure, rolling low is bad, rolling high is good. It's always that way. And that adds a little bit too much luck to a game that is about managing resources, because someone who rolls high, especially at the beginning of the game, can get a jump on everybody else, and everyone else can be like, oh, I'll try to manipulate my dice and do this and get this, and yeah, you'll get there a couple turns. Meanwhile, the other person has better dice and has already gotten some of the recipes you want. Also, turn order being as critical as it is, because you are grabbing the recipes in order of turn, the game can be very chaotic for a player because they'll say, I want that recipe. I'm saving dice for that recipe. Someone else takes it. Therefore, I just got all that stuff for no reason. The next recipe comes out and needs a different combo of dice that I have. So now I basically got to sit here for a turn and regroup and do things. And for some people that might sound fun, I guess, but for me it just was not interesting. I like games where you get resources and then use those resources to complete recipes or whatever. That's what this game is. But I feel that the rate you get the resources is too slow. It just feels like you're moving through quicksand as you're trying to get this stuff. And then when you get them, it can be gotten by somebody else, or you're taking it, someone else wants it. Tokens can be used and changed, but the tokens cost money. Money is hard to get. And this game has a slight get richer problem. As someone is doing well, they're going to continue to do better and better. And I think if someone falls behind this game, it can be a miserable experience. Honestly, for me, I think if you're ahead in the game, it's a miserable experience. This game feels a little bit more like work, and even though I love dice, and the game's dice and tokens, which incidentally, the tokens are small tokens and hard to differentiate. I thought they all look the same from a distance. But the dice and the tokens don't bring the theme out very much. Did you know that this is malt and then the dark dye is dark malt and green is hops? It just never felt that way. And using the action dice to make an action go faster is a cool idea. Unfortunately, I wish the rest of the game just went that fast all the time. So, some interesting concepts here. I don't think the graphic design does this game favors. It's hard to realize what to do. The rule book's not very as clear as it could be either. And the whole thing just feels like it's 75% of a really good game. I wish someone had come in and streamlined it and made the game faster and more fun. I think there are some people who will enjoy this. I just think there's a lot better games in this genre, so this is one that I would give a pass to. Dice Tower Judgment, not interesting.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.
There.